It might look like an ordinary taxi. It might drive like one too. But it's only when you get in do you realize it's driving on its own. And this is not a test track. This is a housing estate in Punggol. Not a driverless city yet, but one small part of how Singapore is trying to build the road towards becoming one. Singapore is dense, planned, and highly connected. So the question here is not whether transport exists, it is whether automation can fill some of the smaller gaps. Helping shape how Singapore approaches driverless transport is Nicholas at the Land Transport Authority.
In the longer term, we see the potential for autonomous vehicles to augment our public transport network and expand mobility options for commuters.
Because for Singapore, it is improving connectivity, expanding mobility options, and testing where automation can make the transport network work better.
So we see the potential for autonomous vehicles in two ways. So firstly, increased connectivity. So imagine a future where residents and members of public are able to go from where they stay to where they work, where they want to play directly. Beyond direct connectivity, we also see the potential for autonomous vehicles for other use cases. So for example, in the areas of road sweeping, utilities, cargo logistics. And that's where we also see the potential to do so and overcome manpower constraints in these sectors.
Autonomous vehicles are not just a tech upgrade, because in a city facing an aging population and a tighter labor market, they are one way to keep people and goods moving more efficiently, with less pressure on short local trips and repetitive transport jobs. Singapore's autonomous future is not entirely new, and it did not start on the road at all. It started on rails. With the launch of Singapore's LRT and MRT Northeast Line system in 2003. Commuters here have had trusted driverless trains. The bigger challenge now is not underground, but taking it to street level, where roads are messier, people are less predictable, and the vehicle has to make more decisions for itself. In cities overseas, point-to-point driverless rides are already happening. And while autonomous vehicles are designed to read the road constantly, they are not infallible. So that is why Singapore is starting smaller first. And that helps explain why this is happening here in Punggol. In Punggol, Grab and WeRide run 2 of 3 fixed autonomous shuttle routes, starting at Matilda Court Estate. This is not a robo-taxi that can take you anywhere. For now, the Punggol shuttle is something much more controlled, a fixed route service on preset roads connecting residents to places they already use, like the MRT, the mall, or housing estates. In other words, a very targeted test of where autonomy might be useful first. And that is the part that brought WeRide into Singapore's AV story. Dr. Kerry Shu is the general manager of WeRide Singapore. He moved to Singapore more than 3 years ago to establish the company's local operations.
I came here just by myself. I rented the office only myself, but now I have 15 people. I think I'm really excited and enjoyed my last 3 years in Singapore.
Since then, the team has a fleet of 20 autonomous vehicles already deployed and operating across the country.
I think Punggol actually a very good residential urban area with dense population and a narrow road, which is very good area for testing the performance of autonomous vehicles.
Punggol Digital District Being built as a living lab for smart systems is also what makes Punggol such a useful place for this pilot.
Before we start the passenger service with our JXR, we actually has done familiarization and fine-tuning operation area of Punggol.
The vehicles have to learn not just the route, but the local language of the road, traffic lights, zebra crossings, yellow box junctions, and road changes caused by construction.
The EVs are equipped with sensors like cameras, LiDAR, and AR-powered software, which helps the vehicle to see the route and the other route participants and vehicles.
In simple terms, the vehicle is constantly building a live picture of the world around it and updating that picture moment by moment. It is sensing, calculating, and making decisions in real time.
While they are operating on public roads with a safety driver, we also collect information from the autonomous vehicles themselves.
The safety data collected from autonomous vehicles helps regulators monitor their performance and ensure they meet operational requirements.
So safety is of paramount importance to us. Firstly, autonomous vehicles that are deployed in Singapore must first demonstrate their basic self-driving capabilities via a closed-circuit test. Second, we also look at the track record of the AV developer. If the AV developer is assessed to have a good overseas track record, we will allow them to then operate on public roads with a safety driver on board.
While WeRide is focused on making the vehicle drive, Grab, best known as a ride-hailing and super app platform, is focused on getting the technology out of the lab and into people's lives. Victor Sim, director of Grab Singapore, is also leading the autonomous vehicle pilot in Punggol.
After we determined the routes, after undergoing extensive tests at Sichuan, we brought the vehicles here to Punggol, where they continue to undergo a lot of testing. Autonomous technology, in the early phase, we do still need humans on board, not to drive, but to monitor and observe how the car is driving. For us, the best fit were our Grab driver partners. They know the roads, they know what are the problematic spots in the neighbourhood, and that's why we wanted to make sure that they were in the seats of the vehicles when they started plying the roads.
During community rides, a safety operator stays in the driver's seat.
I used to be a taxi driver for the last 3 years, and now I'm a certified safety operator for an AV. Think of me as a supervisor of this vehicle. We have gone through a rigorous training. We clock about 75 to 120 hours for each of the trainee.
Every run still begins with checks. It also needs people ready to take over when the unexpected happens.
When we go out on autonomous mode, we have to observe our surroundings and look at all conditions of the roads.
So safety operators, they are basically not driving, but they're observing how the vehicle functions, how it drives, the driving behavior. And in this testing phase, they gave us a lot of feedback that we took back to Grab and WeRide engineers to then further fine-tune the driving model.
At the same time, the shuttle is monitored remotely from an operations command center.
This is control to Sufyan. Yes, Sufyan, send over.
Is it better now, the sensor?
Yes, it's better now, thank you.
And even when safety operators are no longer on board, the vehicle will still be watched in real time, with customer support inside the shuttle and a field operator nearby for emergencies.
Contact us using the in-vehicle display or...
Just like anything new, there's a lot of question marks about maybe the potential risks or the dangers of autonomous tech. We feel that we have to over-index on educating and socializing, what autonomous technology can offer. We started off with quite a number of roadshows across Punggol to explain to the residents here, what the experience entails, right? What the vehicles look like, where they can board the vehicles. We invited Punggol residents to sit on the rides, to give us feedback, because at the end of the day, if the residents in Punggol, they do not accept the autonomous service, I don't think we have a great chance at rolling it out island-wide.
So today you're trying it for the first time?
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, are you scared?
No?
No?
we
know that there's a driver inside
yeah,
already, so
we're
it's
hoping
not
that there's no
not a real
driver
experience,
is
yeah.
even better.
Singaporeans have never been shy about putting technology into everyday life.
If you watch Blade Runner, you know that the vehicles in Blade Runner, they all run autonomously. I'm a big sci-fi fan. That's also why I'm trying to drive the autonomous push. We definitely hope that, autonomous vehicles are not just servicing shuttle routes, but obviously point-to-point as well. I think Singapore will definitely get to a stage where autonomous vehicles are on the roads amongst us one day. And we hope with us embracing autonomous technology, understanding how to roll this out as smoothly as possible, we can be responsible stewards of this new technology and introduce it to other parts of Southeast Asia.
And early signs suggest Singapore is on the right track. With around 740 people who tried the early community rides, 99% said they would recommend the service. So if this autonomous shuttle succeeds here, it will not just be because the vehicle works, it will be because the city around it is ready for what comes next.